Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and a very good morning everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the selection of the Johor Leaders English Speech Competition Secondary School Category 2021. As per the event master, I, Nuri Indiana binti Muhammad Mahdi, is going to guide all of you for this event. This is the least we can do within the short period of time. Please bear in your mind. Now, we are going to the first agenda. It is the opening. Let's open our agenda today by saying Bismillah together. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. May Allah make our agenda run well. Amin. We hope all the contestants can compete in a healthy manner. Try your level of best to deliver your speech convincingly and full of confidence. Ladies and gentlemen, without wasting any time further, let's begin with the first contestant, Nurul Afika binti Abdul Majid. Please.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today, I will give a speech about the top Roman Yasin Johor professional people. Moreover, the many group of authoritative leaders of the league most seem to play the role of veterinary for the famous visionary figures. Many tradition figures were born along the more river to Skamat. It is because the history of more civilization is one of the oldest in Johor. Dato' Abdul Rahman bin Muhammad Yasin is the one of the Johor's famous and authoritative figures for more. Country aided to him because he was one of Malay leaders who can quickly see the dangers of Malay unity when the gap left by Dato' Jafar in 1651. He immediately developed a strategy to fill the void of leadership and driving direction to Malay politics. When the recognition of the Malays are like scattered chicks without a mother with an empty cage, is seen by political officers as a very dangerous situation because the leadership of that on and become very popular place of the Malays who are in politics depend suddenly decide to leave UMNO to lead the party to open its membership to non-Malays. Dato' Abdul Rahman bin Muhammad Yasin, who at first did not understand Dato' On, immediately took over the lead the line of executors with the ambition for independence. He saw the opportunity to pursue his ambition to fight for the independence of Malaya from British colony to rule in the perspective for Johor independence by Johor Malay Association under his leadership. Dato' On's vision to oppose the Malay Union as a whole was agreed by Dato' On's vision to prepare himself in various fields first before demanding independence was not accepted by him. Dato' Abdul Rahman talk was influenced by the background of educated Malays themselves while growing up to instantly influence Malay perceived observation of the freedom of the British administration when he studied English in Singapore in 1816. In 1865, when he began to serve as a clerk in the Johor public administration, he had shown great ability until he was given the opportunity to become the district commissioner, magistrate and treasurer of the state of Johor. He also has a good relationship with the Singapore Malay Union, who are aware to currently demanding equal recognition and service to the officer by the British and the Malays in Singapore. He actively supports the views and debates on the recognition Malay officers who have English education. In 1639, Dato' Abdul Rahman established the Johor Malay Association's fight for recognition of the Malay officers in the British administration. The association who supports them and priorities Malay special rights such as education, culture, and tradition, but it views negatively on the carelessness of the place. During Japanese occupation, the Johor Malay Union, led by Dato' Abdul Rahman, has been commencing debate about the right of members of Malays. When he heard thought the Malayan Union, Dato' Abdul Rahman had merged with the Union of Muar Johor Malays, led by Dr. Hamzah, staged a demonstration to protest McMichael's effort to get Sultan Ibrahim's signature to establish the Malayan Union. When McMichael managed to get Sultan Ibrahim's signature to establish the Malayan Union in 1655, Dato' Abdul Rahman held a public meeting at the Abu Bakar Mosque on 2nd February 1646. He and his supporters opposed Sultan Ibrahim's action by issuing an official letter of protest signed by the delicate 7 people known as the Group of 7. They did not, in writing, recognize Sultan Ibrahim as the Sultan of Johor. Group of 7 led by Johor Abdul Rahman also convinced and explained to the people not to be obedient and loyal to Sultan Ibrahim because Sultan had violated the constitution of the Johor government of 1865. Dato' Abdul Rahman at that time was a senior minister in the Johor civil service. He has a right to assure the Johor remains independent and free to design its own administrative system. Accordingly, many members of the Johor Malay Association have been treated with dismissal by the Johor government as deemed to have been made against the Sultan and the state of Johor. Johor Malay Association does not stand still. They have taken steps to distribute letters to the public to explain the real situation. Discussion became chaotic when a number of government officials were arrested for illegal publishing pamphlets to the public that could express anti-government sentiments. When the Federation of Malaya gained independence in 1657, Dato' Abdul Rahman was appointed as the first president of the National Assembly. Along with him, who contributed to Tunku's cabinet were his son, Datuk Sulaiman and Tun Dr. Ismail. He played an important role in the direction of discussion and action taken in Parliament. He has played the role of powerful officer determining thought patterns and policies in Parliament. He is deeply concerned about the progress of development for the people in the oil fields. Dato' Abdul Rahman passed away on May 24, 1617. His stature as a leader of highly educated and professional people influenced the contemporary Malay leaders. His firmness and precision in decision making was inherited by his son Tun Dr. Ismail, who has succeeded in becoming the second Deputy Prime Minister of Malaysia. His passing is a great loss to the nation of Malaysia. That's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you to Nur Afiqah Abdul Majid for her inspiring speech. Salam. Going to speak about the speech about the Dato' Abdul Rahman Yassin, the professional people. Dato' Abdul Rahman bin Muhammad Yassin. Muar recorded many bursts of authoritative leaders and deputy. Muar seems to play the role of a factory producing famous visionary figures. Many traditional figures were born along the Muar River to Sugamets. This is because the story of Muar civilization is one of the oldest in Johor. Dato' Abdul Rahman bin Muhammad Yassin is one of the Johor famous authoritative figures from country indebted to him because he was the one
of Malay leaders who can quickly see the dangers of Malay unity when the gap left by Datuk Wan Jaafar in 1951. He immediately developed a strategy to fill the void of leadership and driving direction of Malay politics. When the condition of the Malays are like scattered chicks without a mother with an empty cage, it is seen by political observed as a very dangerous situation because the leadership of Dato' Wan can become a very popular place of the Malays who are to lead the party to open its membership to non-Malay. Dato' Abdul Rahman bin Muhammad Yassin, who at first did not understand Dato' Wan, immediately took over and led the line of executor with the ambition for independence. He saw the opportunity to pursue his ambition to fight for the independence of Malaya from British colonial rule in the perspective of for Johor independence by Johor Malaysian Association under his leadership. Dato' An's visions to oppose the Malayan Union as a whole was agreed, but Dato' An's vision to prepare himself in various fields first before demanding independence was not accepted by him. Dato' Abdul Rahman was influenced by the background of educated Malays themselves while growing up in society and influenced Malay field observation of the freedom of the British administration when he studied English in Singapore in the 1819 in 1895 when he began to serve as a clerk in the Johor Public Administration. He had shown great ability until he was given the opportunity to become the district communication magistrate and treasurer of the state of Johor. He also has a good relationship with the Singapore Malay Union, who are aware of the current demanding equal recognition and service to the officer by the British and the Malays in Singapore. He actively supports the view and debates on the recognition of Malay officers who have English education in Singapore. In 1939, the Datuk Rahman established the Johor Malay Association fight for recognition of Malay officers in the British administration. The association also supports and prioritizes Malay special rights such as education, culture, and tradition. But its view negatively on the careless of the police. During Japanese occupation, the Johor Malay Union, led by Datuk Abdul Rahman, has been continuing debates about the right of members of the Malay. When he heard talk of the Malayan Union, Datuk Abdul Rahman had merged with the Union Muar Johor Malays led by Dr. Hamzah staged a demonstration to protest McMichael's effort to get Sultan Ibrahim's signature to establish the Malayan Union. When Michael managed to get Sultan Ibrahim's signature to establish the Malayan Union in 1945, Datuk Abdul Rahman held a public meeting at the Abu Bakar Mosque on 2 February 1946. He and his supporters opposed Sultan's protest signed by the delegates, 7 people known as the Group of Seven. They did not in writing recognize Sultan Ibrahim as the Sultan Johor. Group of 7 led by Dato' Abdul Rahman also be obedient and loyal Sultan Ibrahim because Sultan had violated the constitution of the Johor government of 1895. Dato' Abdul Rahman at that time was a senior magistrate in the Johor Civil Service, has the right to ensure that Johor remains independent and free to design its own administrative system. Accordingly, many members of the Johor Malay Association have been treated with dismissal by the Johor government as deemed to have been against the Sultan and the states of Johor. Johor Malay Associations does not stand still. They have taken steps to distribute data to be public to explain the real situation. The situation becomes chaotic when a member of government officials were arrested for illegally publishing pamphlets to the public that could arouse anti-government Timur. When the Federation of Malay gained independence in 1957, Datuk Rahman was appointed as the first president of the National Assembly. Along with him, who contributes to Tunku's cabinet were his sons Datuk Sulaiman and Tun Dr. Ismail. He has played an important role in the direction of decision and action taken in Parliament. He has played the role of a powerful observer, determining thought patterns and policies in Parliament. He is deeply concerned about the progress of the development for the people in all fields. Rahman passed away on May 24, 1970. His stature as leader of a highly educated and professional people influenced the contemporary leaders. His firmness and precision in decision-making was inherent in collective idea of Malaysia. Is a great loss of nation of to for amazing speech. Mobilized for the third
Consider Al-Majdan binti Muhammad Sufyan is
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning and thank you. And thank you for all the judges who attend this speech. Today's topic is about history of leaders of Johor. Mua recorded many births of authoritative leaders under Undoubtedly, Moa seems to play the role of a factory producing famous visionary figures. Many traditional figures were born along the Moa River to Sulaiman. This is because the history of Moa civilization is one of the oldest in Johor. Datuk Abdul Rahman bin Muhammad Yassin is one of the most famous and authoritative figures from Moa. Country indebted to him because he was one of the Malay leaders who can quickly see the danger of Malay unity when a gap left by Dato' Un Jaafar in 1951. He immediately developed a strategy to fill the void of leadership and driving direction of Malay politics. When the condition of the Malays are like scattered chicks with a mother with an empty cage, it is seen by political observers as a very dangerous situation because the leader of the Malays who are new to politics suddenly decides are known to be the party of its membership to non-Malays. Datuk Abdul Rahman bin Muhammad Yassin, who at first did not understand as to immediately took over and led the last of executors with the ambition of independence. He saw the opportunity to pursue his ambition to fight for the independence of Malaya from British colonial rule in the respective fought for Johor independence by Johor Malay Association under his leadership to oppose the Malayan Union as a whole was agreed by Datuk On's vision to prepare himself in various fields first before demanding independence not accepted by him. Datuk Abdul Rahman was influenced by the background of educated Malays themselves growing up in society and influenced Malay bureaucrats' field observation of the freedom of the British administration. He studied English in Singapore in the 1890s. In 1895, when he began to serve as a clerk in the Johor Public Administration, he had shown ability until he was given the opportunity to become the District Commissioner, Magistrate, and Treasurer of the State of Johor. He also had a relationship with the Singapore Malay Union, aware of the current demanding equal recognition and service to the officers, British and Malays in Singapore. He actively supported the views and the recognition of Malay officers who have been in Singapore. In 1999, Datuk Abdul Rahman established the Johor Malay Association's fight for recognition of Malay officers in the British administration. The association also supports and prioritizes Malay special such education, culture,
Thank you to Alia Wintan, Binti Muhammad Sufan, for her encouraging speech. Next, please come to the stage Muhammad Iman binti Saiful Bahri. Please. Masuk dulu.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good morning to all the judges out there. I can see, but if you're still there, thank you very much for watching. Today I would like to talk about one favorite form from Johor, that is Dato' Abdul Rahman bin Muhammad Yassin. Muar, known as a very beautiful place in Johor, not only become a beautiful place, but also become one of the cleanest 18. So that's a good. But today we will not say about that. Today we will talk about one favorite form from Johor that our country had in that very much from him, and that is Dato' Abdul Rahman bin Muhammad Yassin. Dato' Abdul Rahman bin Muhammad Yassin, as one of the Johor formative and authoritative figure from Muar, that is from my state. Our country indebted him because he was one of the Malay leaders who can quickly decide on doing what action to save our people from getting debt from the British government. Dato' Abdul Rahman bin Muhammad Yassin, who at first do not understand Dato' On immediately, because first of all, he doesn't agree with Dato' On Jafar at first because of the decision they tried to establish UMNO. Dato' Rahman thought it was influenced by the background of the educated Malaysian themselves. While growing up in a society and influenced Malay Christian field observation of the freedom of the British administration, when he studied English in Singapore in the 1890s. In 1995, when he began to serve as a clerk in the Johor Public Administration, he had shown great ability until he was given the opportunity to become the district commissioner. In 1939, Dato' Abdul Rahman established the Johor Malay Association to fight for recognition of Malay officers in the British government. The administration also support the priorities of Malays' special rights such as culture, education, and tradition. But it was negatively on the characters of the palace. During the Japanese occupation, the Johor Malay Union, led by Dato' Abdul Rahman, has been continued debate about the right of the member of the Malay. When he heard talk about the Malaysian Union, Dato' Abdul Rahman Dato' Abdul Rahman had merged with the Union of War Johor Malaysia, led by Dr. Hamzah. Staged a demonstration to protest McMichael effort to get Sultan Ibrahim's signature established on the Malay Union. When McMichael managed to get the Sultan signature to establish the Malayan Union in 1945, Dato' Abdul Rahman held a public meeting at the Abu Bakar Mosque on 2 February 1946. He and his supporters opened to oppose, oppose Sultan Ibrahim. Sultan Ibrahim action by issuing official letter of the Group of Seven. They did not in writing recognize Sultan Ibrahim, the Sultan of Johor. Group of Seven, led by Dato' Rahman, also campaigned and explained to the people not to be obedient to the Sultan at that time, because the Sultan has misused the power that been given. Accordingly, many members of the Johor occasion have been treated themselves by the Johor government. The measure to have a Johor education does not consent to distribute to the public escalated situation. The situation official arrested to legal publishing campaign could arouse anti-government statement. When the Federal Government gave hands in 1957, Dr. was appointed as the first President of Assembly, along with King, who continued to son, Dr. Ismail. He has played an important role in the direction and action in so important is to our country. How important he is to our country. I'm sorry, I'm really starting myself. But, he has played a role powerful to make politics in Thailand. He is deeply concerned about the progress of development for people in the field. Dr. Abdul Rahman passed away on May 24, 1970. He stature as a leader of highly educated and professional people, influencing contemporary Malay leaders. His famous and precision in decision making was intended by his son, Dr. Ismail, who is the Prime Minister of Malaysia. His passing is a great loss to our country. So that's all from me. Thank you for listening. If I stutter, I bring apology for my stuttering because I didn't ready for this. That's all from me.
Now, please welcome the fifth contestant, Kanila Aisyah binti Khairuddin, for her stage.
Thank you to the MC. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And a very good morning to all the judges. Today, I would like to give a speech about Dato' Abdul Rahman bin Muhammad Yassin. More recorded many words of authoritative leaders. Undoubtedly, Moore seems to play the role of a factory producing famous visionary figures. Many traditional figures were born along the Moore rivers to settlement. This is because the history of Moor civilization is one of the oldest in Johor. Dr. Abdul Rahman bin Muhammad Yassin is one of the Johor famous and authoritative figures from Moor. The country imitated to him because he was one of Malay leaders who can quickly see the dangers of Malay unity when the gap left by Dato' Jafar in 1951. He immediately developed a strategy to fill the void of leadership and driving directions of Malay politics. When the condition of the Malays are like scattered sheets without a mother with an leakage, it is seen to by political observers as a very dangerous situation because the leadership of Dato' and become a very popular place of the Malays who are new to politics and suddenly decided to leave UMNO to lead the party to offer its membership to non-Malays. Dato' Abdul Rahman bin Muhammad Yassin, who at first did not understand Dato' immediately took over and led the line of executor with the ambition of independence. He saw the opportunity to pursue his ambition to fight for the independence of Malaya from British colonial rule in the perspective of Johor independence by Johor Malay Association under his leadership. Dato' ambition to oppose the Malay Union as a whole was agreed, but Dato' ambition to prepare himself in various spheres first before demanding independence was not accepted by him. Dato' Abdul Rahman was influenced by the background of educated Malays themselves while growing up in society and influenced Malay bureaucrats' field for observation of the freedom of the British administration when he studied English in Singapore in the 1890s. In the 1895, when he began to serve as a clerk in Johor, he showed great ability until he was given the opportunity to become the commissioner, magistrate and treasurer of the Johor. He also has a good relationship with Singapore Malay Union, who are aware of the current many equal recognition and so to the officer by the British and in Singapore. He actively supported those and the recognition of the level of officer who have in British education system. In 1939, Dr. Rahman established the Johor Malay Association to fight for recognition of Malay officers in the British administration. The association also started Malay special rights such as culture and tradition. Malay negatively understands political administration in Malay. Dato' Abdul Rahman has been continuing the right of members of the Malays. Of the Malay Union, Dato' Abdul Rahman had merged the union of Johor Malay and Dato' Hamzah, to Michael efforts to get Sultan Ibrahim's signature to establish the Malay Union. When Michael managed to get Sultan Ibrahim's signature to establish the Malay Union in 1945, Dato' Abdul Rahman, he and his supporters opposed Sultan Ibrahim's action by issuing an official letter of protest signed by the delegate 7 peoples, known as Group of Sevens. They did not in writing recognize Sultan Ibrahim as Abdul Rahman also campaigned and explained to the people not to be obedient to the constitution of the Johor government of 1894. Dato' Abdul Rahman at that time shared that Johor remained independent and free to design its own administrative system. Accordingly, many members of the Johor Malay Association have been treated by the Johor government as deemed to have been against the Sultan and the state of Johor. The Johor Malay Association does not stand still. They have taken steps to distribute letters to the public to explain the real situation. The situation became chaotic when the numbers of government officials were arrested for illegally publishing pamphlets to the public that could arouse anti-government sentiments. When the Federation of Malaya gained independence in 1957, Dato' Abdul Rahman was appointed as the first president of the National Assembly. Along with him who contributed to whose cabinet were his sons, Dato' Sulaiman and Dr. Ismail. He has played an important role in direction of decision and action taken in Parliament. He has played the role of powerful observer determining through patterns and policies in Parliament. He is deeply concerned about the progress of the development of the people in office. Dato' Abdul Rahman passed away on May 24, 1970. His text as leader of highly educated and professional people influenced the contemporary leaders. His firmness and precision in decision-making was enhanced by his son, Dr. Ismail, who was succeeded in becoming the second Deputy Prime Minister of Malaysia. His passing is a great loss to the nation of Malaysia. That's all from me. Thank you.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you for the MC and a very good morning to judges. Today I want to give a speech about Dato' Abdul Rahman Yassin, Johor Professional People. Muar recorded many words of authoritative leaders. Uncountable, Muar seems to play the role of a factory producing famous visionary figures. Many traditional figures were born along the Muar River to Segamat. This is because the history of Muar civilization is one of the oldest in Johor. Today, Dato' Abdul Rahman bin Muhammad Yassin is one of the Johor's famous and authoritative figures from Muar. Country indebted to him because
He was one of the Malay leaders who can quickly see the danger of Malay unity when the gap left by Dato' Jaafar on 1951. He immediately developed a strategy to fill the void of leadership and driving direction of Malay politics. When the condition of the Malays are like scattered chicks without a mother with an empty cage, it seems by politically observed as a very dangerous situation because the leadership of Dato' and become a very popular place of the Malays who are new to politics defense suddenly decided to become known to lead the party to open the membership to non-Malays. Dato' Abdul Rahman bin Muhammad Yassin, who at first didn't understand Dato' immediately took over and led the line to executors with the ambition of independence. He saw the opportunity to further his intention to fight for the independence of Malaya from British colonial rule in the perspective for Johor independence by Johor Malay constitution under his leadership. Dato' On's vision to oppose the Malayan Unite as a whole was agreed, but Dato' On's vision to prepare himself in various fields first before demanding independence was not accepted by him. Dato' Abdul Rahman thought was influenced by the background of educated Malays themselves while growing up in society and influenced Malay workers by observation of the freedom of the British administration when he studied English in Singapore in 1890. In 1895, when he began to serve as a clerk in Johor Public Administration, he had shown great ability until he was given the opportunity to become the district commissioner, magistrate, and treasurer of the state of Johor. He also has a good relationship with the Singapore Malay Union, who are aware of the current demanding equal recognition and service of the officer by the British and the Malays in Singapore. He actively supported the views and debates on the recognition of Malay officers who have English education in Singapore. In 1939, Dato' Abdul Rahman established the Johor Malay Association fight for recognition of Malay officers in the British administration. The association also support the prioritize Malay special rights such as education, culture and tradition. But it views negatively on the carelessness of the place led by Dato' Abdul Rahman has been continuing debate about the rights of member of the Malays. When he heard talk of the Malay Union, Dato' Abdul Rahman had merged with the Union of Muajir Malays led by Dr. Hamzah. Staged a demonstration to protect McMichael's effort to get Sultan Ibrahim's signature to establish the Malay Union. When McMichael managed to get Sultan Ibrahim's signature, Mr. Abdul Rahman had a public meeting at the Abu Bakar Mosque, and 2 February 1946, he and his supporters issued a letter of protest by the village 7 people known, and the group of 7, they didn't need writing required Sultan Ibrahim as the Sultan of Johor. Group of 7 led by Dato' Abdul Rahman also campaigned and explained to the people not to be Obadiah and loyal to Sultan Ibrahim because Sultan had violated the constitution of the Johor government in 1855. Dato' Abdul Rahman at the time was a senior that Johor remains independent and free to design its own administrative system. Accordingly, many members of Johor Malay Association have been threatened with dismissal by the Johor government as deemed to have been against the Sultan and the state of Johor. Johor Malay Association doesn't stand still. They have taken steps to distribute letters to the public to explain the real situation. The situation became chaotic when a number of government officials were arrested for illegally publishing pamphlets to the public that could arouse anti-government sentiments. As Tunku, when the Federation of Malay gained independence in 1957, Dato' Abdul Rahman was appointed and the first president of the National Assembly, along with him who contributes money. He has played an important role in the direction of decisions and activities taken in Parliament. He has played the role of a powerful observer, determining thought, patterns and policies in Parliament. He is deeply concerned about the progress of the movement and the people in all fields. Dato' Abdul Rahman passed away on May 24, 1970. His stature as a leader of a highly educated and professional people influenced the contemporary Malay leaders. His firmness and precision in decision making was inherited by his son, Dr. Ismail, who had success in becoming the second Deputy Prime Minister of Malaysia. His passing is a great loss to the nation of Malaysia. That's all for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Nadra Khaira binti Khairul Anwar, for your wonderful speech. So, we are into the final contestant, Nasrin Afrina binti Saiful Azmi.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today I'm going to talk about Dato' Abdul Rahman bin Muhammad Yassin. More recorded than the words of authoritative leaders. Undoubtedly, More seems to play the role of a factory producing famous visionary leaders. Many traditional figures were born along the More River to Singapore. This is because the history of More civilization is one of the oldest in Johor. Dato' Abdul Rahman bin Muhammad Yassin is one of the Johor's famous and authoritative figures from More. Country indebted to him because he was one of the Malay leaders who can quickly see the danger of Malay unity when they get left by Dato' Wan Jaafar in 1953. He immediately developed a strategy to fill the void of leadership and driving direction of Malay politics. When the conditions of the Malays are like scattered shades without a mother with an empty cage. It is seen by political observers as a very dangerous situation because the leadership of Dato' Wan and become a very popular place of the Malays who are new to politics. The West suddenly decided to leave UMNO to lead the party to open its membership to non-Malays. Dato' Abdul Rahman bin Muhammad Yassin, who at first did not understand Dato' Wan, immediately took over and led the line of executors with the ambition for independence. He saw the opportunity to pursue his ambition to fight for the independence of Malaya from British colonial rule in the prospective vote for Johor independence by Johor Malay Association under his leadership. Dato' Wan's vision to oppose the Malayan Union as a whole was agreed, but Dato' Wan's vision to prepare himself in various fields first before demanding independence was not accepted by him. Dato' Abdul Rahman thought was influenced by the background of educated Malays themselves while growing up in society and to influence Malay bureaucrats field observations of the freedom of British administration when he studied English in Singapore in the 1890s. In 1865, when he began to serve as a clerk in the Johor Public Administration, he had shown great ability until he was given the opportunity to become district commissioner, magistrate, and treasurer of the state of Johor. He also has a good relationship with the Singapore Malay Union, who are aware of the current demanding for recognition and service to the officer by the British and the Malays in Singapore. He actively supported the views and debates on the recognition of Malay officers who have English education in Singapore. In 1939, Dato' Abdul Rahman established the Johor Malay Association's fight for the recognition of Malay officers in the British administration. The association also supports and prioritizes Malay special rights such as education, culture, and tradition. They views negatively on the carelessness of the palace. During Japanese occupation, the Johor Malay Union, led by Dato' Abdul Rahman, has been continuing debate about the rights of members of the Malays. When he heard talk of the Malayan Union, Dato' Abdul Rahman had merged with the Union of Johor Malays led by Dr. Hamzah staged a demonstration to protest McMichael's efforts to get Sultan Ibrahim's signature to establish the Malayan Union. When McMichael managed to get Sultan Ibrahim's signature to establish the Malayan Union in 1945, Dato' Abdul Rahman held a public meeting at the Abu Bakar Mosque on 2nd February 1946. He and his supporters opposed Sultan Ibrahim's action by issuing an official letter of protest signed by the delegates, 7 people known as the Group of 7. They did not directly recognize Sultan Ibrahim as the Sultan of Johor. Group of 7, led by Dato' Abdul Rahman, and explained to the people not to be obedient and loyal to Sultan Ibrahim because Sultan had violated the constitution of the Johor government in 1895. Dato' Abdul Rahman at that time was a senior magistrate in the Johor civil service, has the right to ensure that Johor remains independent and free to design its own administrative system. Accordingly, many members of the Johor Malay Association have been treated with dismissal by the Johor government as deemed to have been against the Sultan and the state of Johor. Johor Malay Association does not stand still. They have taken steps to distribute letters to the public to explain the real situation. The situation became chaotic when a number of government officials were arrested for illegally publishing pamphlets to the public that could arouse anti-government sentiments. When the Federation of Malaya gained independence in 1957, Dato' Abdul Rahman was appointed as the first president of the National Assembly. Along with him were contributed to Tunku's cabinet, where his sons, Dato' Sulaiman and Dato' Tun Dr. Ismail. He has played an important role in the direction of decisions and actions taken in Parliament. He has played the role of a powerful observer, determining thought patterns and policies in Parliament. He is deeply concerned about the progress of development for the people in all fields. Dato' Abdul Rahman passed away on May 24th, 1970. His stature as leader of a highly educated and professional people influenced the contemporary Malay leaders. His firmness and precision in decision-making was inherited by his son, Tun Dr. Ismail, who has succeeded in becoming the second Deputy Prime Minister of Malaysia. His passing is a great loss to the nation of Malaysia. That's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you to our Pretty Nasrin Afrina for your cool speech. Ladies and gentlemen, we have enjoyed all performances. Now, we are in the end of this event today, but before closing our meeting, I am as the master of ceremony. I have made many mistakes during holding this event, and I apologize for this. Thanks for your attention. Stay safe everyone and have a pleasant day. Bye.